This is safer. Whenever they print it, it is right away sold out after a few days. It's one of the best Mamish people.
Is that Reb Nachman?
No, you've been in the head of the Yalla. The Yalla is an any greatness and a Fiyida Kodesh. Okay, this is what story is. Now we can be like, put our energy together, okay? Because I'm definitely not together. Maybe you are.
Probably not.
Also not. What's that? You know what's it says this is how the Parsha begins. Vayihi Beshalach Parosom. And it was, and if it's translated properly, Vayihi Mitzoshon Tzar, and it says sadly it came to pass that Pharaoh let the Jewish people go. And all the commentaries say, what do you mean sadly? This was the greatest joy in the world. Let us go. Okay, it's 2 million answers. But he says it mamish. It's like there are moments when you have the opportunity to get everything in the world. Everything. And the saddest thing is when at that moment you limit yourself just to one small thing. Brother. That night when we came out of Egypt, you know how much God wanted to give us? Everything. That night we could have brought redemption to the world. That night we could have brought the Messiah. That night we had in our hands to do everything we ever have to do. And all we did, we were happy to get out of Egypt. Sometimes you want something so badly, and then when it happens, we are so happy it happens, and we don't realize that at that moment I could do thousands of more things. Want you to know something unbelievable stories, beyond unbelievable. You remember Reb Nachman was called after Reb Nachman Horodenka. That's a good story to know anyway. The Baal Shem Tov, one of his greatest pupils, was called Reb Nachman of Horodenka. Reb Nachman Horodenka was not married, and he was always like, that means he was once married, I think his wife passed away, and he was always telling the whole about Shem Tov, I want to marry somebody special. In the meantime, there was a young lady, and she was always also coming to the Hashem. And she says, I want to marry somebody special. Okay, one time the whole of Shem Tov put 2 and 2 together. So he says to her, I have something very special. But you have to promise me, because he's really a little bit out of this world. Whenever you have complaints or anything, come and tell me. Okay, so what Shem said, once you know this Reb Nachman is my highest. There are millions of stories which are too long to go into. Anyway, we get married, and the craziest thing is, after the wedding, he doesn't come home. He comes home next day for lunch. Stays, eats a little bit. He just have to go back to learn. Comes back the next day for lunch. The next day he comes back for breakfast. And in those days communication was not, woman would never confront him and anything, So she went to the Holy Baal Shem. The Holy Baal Shem Tov says, hey Nachman, what's going on here? So the Baal Shem Tov says then, Reb Nachman, why don't you go home? So he says, Rebbe, you know and I know, said enough, it's decreed for her, God forbid, to die in childbirth. And I don't want her to die so young. Come on. So what Shem Tov says, let me tell you something. Why didn't you talk to her? Talk to her straight. So you went to her and you said to her, I want you to know I love you so much. I want you to know I'm not coming home because I know, God forbid, it's decreed in heaven. You should die, in childbirth, and I don't want you to die. But she says, we are now is not living, not dead. You know, it's just nothing. I rather have one good year with you than sit like this forever. Anyway, can you imagine the closer it got, Mamish, more sad they got. Okay, then she had a baby. And she was Mamish supposed to die the moment the baby was born. And at that moment the baby was born, she said, I cannot believe you're that cruel. I carried this baby for 9 months and I shouldn't even see it. She says, please God, let me live for 4 weeks. So she lived for 4 weeks and never she died. And this baby was called Simcha. And Simcha is the father of Reb Nachman. Nachman ben Simcha. Wait. After that, Reb Nachman came to the Bat Shem. So Bat Shem started telling me everything. Says she lived another 4 weeks. Nachman says, Oi, don't you know, at that moment, all the gates were open for her. She could have said, please God, let me stay forever. You know, when the moment when the gates are open, don't limit yourself to something small. So it says, Vayihi means, sadly enough, Beshalach Parasam. All happened to us, that's there, let us go. Heartbreaking, why didn't we pick up everything? And you see what it is? The sad thing is that, you know, after Egypt, we are 4 times in exile. Egypt, Babylon, Persia, and then Rome. And that moment, when God took us out of Egypt, we could have eliminated everything. We could have said, you know, Mamish, fix me now. You know, there's this Kaval story. The Holy Sanzer had one of his Chassidim. You know, the Holy Sanzer had followers who themselves were rabbis. There was never a Rebbe with so many rabbis came to like the Holy Sanzer. One of them, his name was Reb Herzke. And in Sanzer was like this Friday night, they bring in the soup. The Holy Sanzer takes 3 spoons, then he puts it down, and then the Chassidim eat. So one time, Reb Herzke was in Sanz, so the Holy Sanzer ate 3 spoons, and then to Reb Herzke, you finish it. Then Reb Herzke thought it's not fair, I should eat the whole thing. So he also ate 3 spoons, and then gave it to Chassidim. Everybody should eat a little bit. Later on in life he says, Gewalt, I regret. Why didn't I eat the whole thing? He gave it to me. Why didn't I eat the whole thing? You know what it is? It's so stupid. We always take less at the wrong time. We always make ourselves humble, right? When someone says, I want to give you $10 million, no, God, it's too much. Just give me a few $100. Stupid. I want to give it to you, right? And here I want to share something. I think I told the Rom, don't know if I told it to you. Why is God forbid? Why is Shabbos so heavy, God forbid? I mean, it should never happen, God forbid. But Mamish death penalty is not keeping Shabbos. God forbid. It never happened because somehow the Holy Court would always confuse the witnesses. But basically, according to the Torah death penalty, why is there no death penalty for something else? The answer is very simple. Imagine, what's your name? Deborah. Deborah tells me, I want you to go down and get me 2 pounds of apples. Listen, Deborah, I'm too tired. Please understand, I'm too tired. Like, she may be a little bit angry, but forgive me, right? But imagine Deborah says, I want you to know, especially went to Afghanistan to bring you a gift. I said, I don't want your gift. You know, the Gemara says God brought Shabbos from the highest place in heaven, right? Shabbos is a gift from the inside of heaven, right? And I don't want to take it. That's nice. Okay, now, I want you to know something. So the exodus of Egypt was one moment. We could have gotten everything. Shabbos Kodesh. We could have gotten everything, and we took just a little bit. What will happen when the Messiah is coming? May I want you to know something. Where's hatred coming from? It's so deep. Because I'm missing something, right? Can you imagine God wanted to give me $5 million? I only took a few hundred. Then suddenly I think, hey, what happened to the rest of the money? Are you sure you didn't take it? Because I know, in my heart, I know there was supposed to be more, right? But I, dope, didn't take it. Then I suspect everyone else did. Why is the whole, what's hatred? What's between nations? Every nation says, you took something away from me, and you took my stuff. Why didn't you pick up your own stuff? God wanted to give it to you. What do you say? Was the deep Torah or the deepest? Between people, right? You know, this all comes from because I'm missing something I didn't. When did we suddenly have the vision that someday Mashiach is coming, and someday Mama will be a different world, when we cross the Red Sea? You know what happened to us when we crossed the Red Sea? At that moment we received everything. Because everything is beyond borders. You know? I can walk on water, I can jump over the hills. Everything. None limit. Now listen to me, friend. Why don't I take the whole thing? Okay, Brian Welshett calls me up, he says, this brother, he has $5 million. If I have my wits together, I say, oh, thank you so much. If I'm a schlep, what did I say, Brian Welshett? You think I need protection to take it home to my house? $5 million, a little bit dangerous at night in New York. You think I should call a Moshe to protect me? And Brian Welshett is a little bit annoyed. I'm giving you $5 million, take it. Leave me in peace right now. I'm not a kindergarten protector, right? I have to also to help you bring it home. Okay, then whatever I do is awesome. You know what it is? I'm afraid to take more than I can take. I'm looking for excuses. Have you ever seen? You know, sometimes I saw some after concert, I don't know what to add. A lot of times it happens to me. They say, listen, we are engaged, we will get married. I say, why don't you get married tonight? I'll do it for free, right? I'm here with the concert. Okay, then some of them, maybe the man or the woman say, yeah, okay, let's do it, right? You see the face of the other one, whoever it is. You get so frightened. Maybe yes, I have to wait for my mother. You know the whole Geschichte. Okay, this is unbelievable. When God took us out of Egypt, you know what was wrong? He was still afraid of Pharaoh. You know, friends, you think when you walk out of Auschwitz, suddenly you're not afraid of Nazis anymore? It's so engraved in. I remember after the war, my mother told me a woman came from Germany, a distant relative. She was in Auschwitz, Donetsk. My mother took her to Macy's. And obviously she had seen someone in uniform stand. And to walk into Macy's, suddenly a policeman walked in. Before my mother knew it, she was lying under the table. She was hiding everything. So much in her. She ended up at the end in instant asylum. Because one night there was a fire next door, and she saw fire, and she crawled right away under the bed again. She might remember in Auschwitz the fire oven, and then she was dancing, and couldn't snap back. What happened to us by the Red Sea? The greatest miracle happened that God took us out of fear from us. God says to Moshe, tell the Yidden, this yatzvu means mamish, take a stand. That's it. I'm a free person. I'm not afraid of you. Moshe was torn out all the fear. And the moment my fear is torn out, what paralyzes you most? Fear, right? Physically. You cannot move, God forbid, when the person has fear. And the more less fear you have, the more free you are, the more you can move. Basically, the truth is, it's proven today that I could jump now from this window, jump down to the street and not hurt myself. I have seen in Israel the way they train paratroopers. Paratrooper can stand on the 20th floor, jump down and walk off. If you know how to do it right. But you know what you have to do? You have to be completely out of fear. Listen, if I say, I'm not going to make it, I'll be broken when I get there, right? Unbelievable. I saw, it was during the 6-Day War, I gave a big house to an hospital, and a girl of 16 walked in, she's a paratrooper, told me she is the best, 6.5, best paratrooper in Israel. They told me that she could jump down from Rockefeller Center, and that's interesting. Keep on walking down the street.
With a parachute?
No, without a parachute. She is trained, mamish, to jump down. She has so much control. Like you can. But what's the most? Why nobody else can do it? Even if you could, you can't because of so much fear. Okay, so I want you to know something so deep. This Parsha is, and also the Parsha said that the lowest person in the world had a higher vision than Ezekiel the prophet when he crossed the Red Sea. That means suddenly all the gates were open for us. Because you know what, Mamish, we said we are ready to receive everything. We are ready for the highest. Even a prophet has a little bit fright to be too much of a prophet. And I want you to do something so true. Suddenly, all of Israel and Moshe had Mamish the same vision, right? It says, oh, Moshe and 3 million Jews, everybody says the same thing. That means for 1 minute, everybody had the same vision like Moshe. Why don't we have the same vision like Moshe? I'm afraid. Imagine someone says to me, listen to me, right now the gates of heaven are open, you can become a prophet like Moses. And you'll walk out, not Shlomo anymore, you'll be as great as Moses. What would I say?